I am the Deployment Resource Specialist for Fort Riley, Kansas. And anytime there's a deployment coming up or nearing about, I make sure that we attend those deployment fairs and make sure that families are really aware of the programs that the USO offers, and make sure that they have the support both near and far. And what that entails is attending a lot of the pre-deployment briefings, some that are during deployment and some that are after as well for the reintegration, and just really making sure that families and soldiers know all the programs that are available to them near and far. For kids or single soldiers, there's something to help support everyone.
She is bubbly. She's always happy. I've never ever, with all the stress that I even put on her with all the things for the brigade, never saw her get frustrated ever. She always took everything like, okay, I got it. And within the day, I would hear back from her, hey, I got this. I was like, wow, you work fast.
She's very passionate about what she does. She's always putting the needs of the USO or whatever she's working for before herself, which I think that's what makes her outstanding at the job she does. Well, I think it comes from the fact that she was raised military. Her father was in the Navy.
And I'm a military brat, so I remember my mom telling me, oh man, I wish we had these services when I was younger. So my entire life has been centered around the military culture.
Carolyn was actually a volunteer at the USO on Fort Riley, and by accident, I went in one day just to, we were looking for a venue for an FRG meeting, Family Readiness Group meeting. I met her, she, volunteer like everybody else there, and I told her, I said, it'd really be nice if we actually had just one person that we could come in here and talk to, instead of me having to go through, 14 volunteers and nobody remembers who I am. She called me, I think, 2 weeks later, and she's like, I want to thank you for me getting the full-time job at the USO. I said, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, she goes, your comment that you had filled out, she's like, they listened. She's like, and I got a phone call. She's like, and now I am your 1st Brigade Liaison Rep at the USO. She's like, so you just solely deal with me now.
Well, it started because I was new to the Fort Riley area, and I like to get out, get involved, get out of the house. And so long as my husband's been in, I've always volunteered in some capacity. A lot of it was Family Readiness Group, and then I just slowly transitioned to the USO. It just went on from there. I started with just one little section of Fort Riley, and then before I knew it, I was just taking care of the whole post.
For me, I know a lot of people say hero, is that term that they usually put on, let's say, a firefighter or police officer or a soldier, but it's not. It's people like Carolyn that are in the shadows, working the way she worked tirelessly, just to make sure that soldiers had what they needed. 90% of them or better, if not all of them, have never met Carolyn a day in their life. I think all, not just Carolyn, all of the volunteers at the USO are the unsung heroes that nobody ever talks about.
When you think of heroic actions, you think saving lives, you think military, you think law enforcement, the people who give back every ounce of what they can to their community, and even strangers, people that they don't know. And then as I'm saying this and it's coming out of my mouth, I go, okay, all right, I might have done that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So would you consider yourself a hero with your definition?
Well, you just want me to toot my own horn, don't you? I think that it would still take some wrapping my head around that, wow, I really did make this impact. So maybe in a little bit.